If you've ever had a significant other, then you've probably had a bad date. First dates can be intimidating for both parties. Nerves, anxiety, social anxiety. You never know what's going to happen because you're trying to get to know a stranger in a romantic way without knowing anything about them at all. My worst first date, I've had many bad first dates, but my worst one that comes to mind immediately is with a girl from Hinge. This was just a regular Thursday night, and we were going to meet at an Italian restaurant. I was going to drive to her apartment, park on the parking deck, and then we would walk to the restaurant together because she was so close. And as soon as I pull up, I see her. She's wearing a cute little sundress type thing and those flip-flop high heel things, and she was looking fine, baby. Yes. And I was like, all right, here we go. So far, so good. And, we're walking to the restaurant. She's hightailing it. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So we get to the restaurant. We don't have reservations. I'm like, hey, how long's the wait? 30 minutes. No big deal, right? We can talk. So we go to this little store around the corner there, and she wants to get a drink. I don't drink, but hey, you know what? I'm going to be easy going tonight, and I'm going to grab one too. So she gets a drink, and then she's like, what do you want? And I was like, I don't know any of these. These are like big old beers that have weird names on it. Like a hipster came up with the name. And I was like, I don't know. What do you think? And she says, well, I like this one. I had this over here when I went to the Bahamas. Oh, and this over here, me and my girls. I'm like, what the fuck? Why you know so much about these alcoholic beverages? She was like a librarian, and we were at a bookstore. She just knew all the nutritional facts to all these beers. I'm like, there's no way. She's like, yeah, like everybody knows these beers. I was like, really? Hey, man. And there was a dude to my left, and I was like, hey, man, which one of these is your favorite, bruh? And he goes, I don't know any of these. And I go, what? And I was like, see, nobody knows this. And then he's like, hey, Jim, whatever his friend's name was. Hey, get over here. Do you know any of these? And he goes, no, I have no idea. So she was the only one out of the group of dudes that were there that knew anything about these beers. I already knew right then and there that, something was off, right? She knows a lot about these beers. She had breast implants. These two things don't really match. So let's see how the night's going to play out, huh? So then we sit down. I get my nasty beer. It's disgusting. And we're sitting at the table, and then we're kind of just talking to each other. Like, how long you been on Hinge? This and that. And I was like, when was your last relationship? So I asked her, yeah, when was your last relationship? And she goes, well, I just got out of a situationship. Oh, my God. And I'm thinking, all right, how many deal breakers is she's going to hit me with tonight? Let's just count them. You know what I mean? And she, I was like, so I'm super easygoing, right? I'm not mean. I'm not one of those guys that stands up at the table, throws my handkerchief on the table, and I leave. No, I'm really easygoing, right? Maybe she's having an off day. Who knows? And she says, yeah, I just got out of a situationship. It lasted like 8 months. I'm like, what the all right, what? And she said, yeah, he just didn't know what he wanted. Okay. And then she hit me with, yeah, it was really big. Why do you want to tell me that? What makes you think that I'm going to be like, oh my God, really? That's so jinkies. That's so cool. Who's going to, what does she think is going to happen? Tell me that. So again, I'm like, I said, what? You said, huh? Playing it off. Oh my God, I should be telling you this. I was like, yeah. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't. But in person, I was like, no, that's okay. Whatever. I mean, you might be going through something. It's all right. No big deal. And then she says, yeah, like the way he had sex with me was just so crazy. She is talking about, we ain't even ate dinner yet. We ain't even at the table. And she's hitting me with all these weird facts. And, she goes on a little bit, and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? What am I going to do? I ain't got nothing to say. And so I'm just listening, like, what the fuck? So finally, the little buzzer goes off. I'm like, oh, thank God, she won't shut up. So then we go to the table, and we go to the table there, and at the time, my Instagram, I've got a blue check mark, but you can buy the blue check mark. I bought the blue check mark because I read on some article that it could help with your reach and stuff like that. And I'm trying to grow my page. And I was like, okay, that could help. And plus you get like direct support from it. So there's pros to actually having a blue check mark. It's not just for show, right? So I bought it and it's like $15 a month. And we sit down at the table and she goes, so tell me about you, Mr. Blue check mark. And immediately I'm like, dude, this is so, I'm already clocked out of this, but let's keep going. So I tell her about myself. And I told her, I was like, I bought that. Like, I'm not even like one of those guys. I don't even hide it. I bought that. So we sit down at the table. We're eating, and we're eating, and the night is progressing a little through the dinner. We're talking and this and that, and then she starts getting attitude because we start talking about the pay gap, and I'm just, dude, I don't want to get into, of all the things in the world, I don't want to talk about the pay gap, woman. And she's like, yeah, it's such bullshit how guys get paid more than girls at my job. And I go, what's your job? I'm a nurse. And I go, is that because of they need males in it because predominantly they're physically stronger, like, and they need them to lift up, so they need to pay them more to introduce more males into the industry? That's what I heard. I don't know. And she goes, that is not it. I can do anything a man can. I'm like, God, all right, okay. she just wants to fight. And then she goes on about this guy again. I don't know how it happens, but then she hits me with, yeah, we used to make videos. And I was like, oh my, dude, how? And then she asks me at the dinner table, do you want to see? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking serious, man? I tell her, I was like, no, I don't want to see it. I was like, nah, I'm not into that. Nah, not really. I don't really want to watch. And then finally the bill comes. I pay, obviously. It's how it is. And then we go to the bar. And I'm like, dude, I need a couple of drinks after this. There's the only way I'm surviving. And then while we're at the bar, she keeps trying to show me these videos. And I'm 2 beers in, so I'm drunk. It's ridiculous. I'm 2 beers in, and she keeps trying to say, do you want to see? Do you want to see? She said, I look so good in these. You have to see it. I'm just thinking, if I see this girl get I can't, my mind won't even go there now. And I told her, I was like, listen, if you pull your phone out and show me, I'm going to punch your phone out of your hand. I'm not like a violent person or nothing, but I was so fed up with her saying that, and I needed to get out of the situation, and she was like pulling her phone out looking at them. And I'm just like, yo, if you turn that phone around, I'm going to smack that. Long story short, right? That goes on. I need to sober up because now at this time, we're going back to her apartment, and then I'm going to leave. And I've had enough at this point, and she knows. I think she needed to go on a date with a guy to realize how emotionally out of touch she is with potentially being in a relationship. She was not ready for one, and I think she needed to go on one with a guy and ruin it and completely bomb in order to figure out some of the things that she was going through. And I think she knew that because once I was like, all right, it was good seeing you, like, she knew, and she wasn't having it. She had a little bit of an attitude, but that's all right. Got in my car, left, and I was just in such disbelief. I was just like, dude, what? I can't even. I'm just going to go back home and, pet my dog. And she blocked me. The very next morning when I didn't text her, she blocked me on everything. And that was my worst first date, especially from a dating app. If you're a guy or a girl, and you for one, you shouldn't be, if you record yourself with your partner, whatever, but once y'all become not a thing anymore, you should delete that. And then on top of that, don't be trying to show your next potential partner those videos. It's not going to go well for you. What are you thinking? I would love to hear some other people's experiences on bad first dates. That was mine. If someone's got a similar story, I would absolutely love to hear it because I don't want to be the only one over here.